Good morning. Welcome. I'm Dave Morley, the chair of South Carolina First Steps and the Early Childhood Advisory Council. In 2020, Governor McMaster asked First Steps. Can you hear?
That ain't a microphone. That's a,
Oh. What do I do?
You got to yell.
All right. That's a simple solution. I'm sorry. In 2000. All right. Let's try again. Can people hear now? No? Okay.
Speak it up a little bit.
In 2020, Governor McMaster challenged First Steps to lead an effort to create a strategic plan for the early childhood initiatives within the state. He asked us to set priorities and goals, but importantly, he wanted a measurable timeline so we knew we were making progress with our most vulnerable children. And he challenged First Steps because they're the only initiative in the state that is solely dedicated to the 0 to 5 space. But more importantly, they are the ones who coordinate the Early Childhood Advisory Council. And that is made up of community members, legislators, and the agencies that provide services to our children. And the members of that group all agree that in order to really make a difference in the lives of young children, we need to do it as a coordinated endeavor, where we all have a role to play. Today, we proudly present the 5-year strategic plan for the early childhood services in our state, intended to optimize the system that's in place. The plan is based on 7 principles, 19 objectives, 4 goals, and 62 strategies. Now, it's easy to get lost in all that nomenclature, but the important part of it is it boils down to 7 measurable outcomes that we can track the progress to helping children succeed in our state. Now, you might ask why in South Carolina that this is important. In the first 5 years of life, the brain development that occurs is essential for building the foundations for lifelong learning, health, and behavior. And we all know that when we invest in young children, in their health and safety, in their, in the families and communities in which they live, and in the environments in which they learn, we can have outstanding impact both today and in the future. Now, this plan is basically future-oriented, but that we need to take stock of where we are. South Carolina has been an innovator in early childhood education and services, has had many successful programs. We also have to recognize that too few children are being served, and the gaps in achievement still persist. So this is a call to action, a call to continue our investment in strategic priorities that work, in order to continue the collaboration across agencies to make a difference in children's lives, so that all children in South Carolina have the opportunity to reach their full potential. Now, as I said, this is a team effort, that it couldn't have been done without the both engagement and support of the ECAC. And we thank them deeply because this couldn't have happened without that. And I'd like to recognize the people who are here today who are part of that group. First, from the legislature, Representative Jerry Govan, Senator Greg Hembry, and Senator Gerald Malloy. And from our agency leaders, Mary Lynn Diggs, the South Carolina Head Start Collaboration Office, Robert Kerr, Department of Health and Human Services, Mike Leach, the Department of Social Services, will be speaking next, Georgia Miarton, South Carolina First Steps, Dr. Kenneth Rogers and Louise Johnson, Department of Mental Health, Dr. Edward Simmer, Department of Health and Environmental Control, Lisa Aiken, South Carolina Library, Dr. Salandra Bowman, SCETV, Robert McBurney, Department of Disabilities and Special Needs, Rusty Monholland, Commissioner of Higher Education, Eric Bellamy, I saw Eric, there he is, Eric Bellamy, Children's Trust, and from child service providers, Alexa Newman and Roger Pryor, and from our business community, Timothy Holt. So now it's my pleasure to introduce Mike Leach, an ECAC member and Director of Social Services.
Thank you, Chairman Morley, and thank you, Governor McMaster and Lieutenant Governor and Georgia for the opportunity to be with you all today. The South Carolina Department of Social Services was designated by Governor McMaster to serve as the state agency responsible for submission and execution of the Preschool Development Grant, which has brought $25.7 million in federal funds to South Carolina to strengthen and enhance early care and education system in our state. We are currently in the process of applying for the third and final year of the grant, and we hope to get soon. The PDG grant application was developed jointly with key stakeholders, including the South Carolina Department of Education, the Head Start Collaboration Office, South Carolina First Steps, and other public and private organizations. As the lead agency designated to administer all child care development funds, with an annual budget of approximately $148 million, DSS has a long-standing history of successfully establishing and maintaining collaborative partnerships with private and public agencies to facilitate the ability of a broad range of statewide early care and education mixed delivery and support systems. Our DSS early care and education staff have been extremely busy over the past 2 years ensuring we anticipate provider needs at every turn and do everything in our ability to make sure that child care providers feel supported during this time. Nearly all of our DSS programs are administered in coordination with other child-serving agencies and organizations. At any given time, there are more than a dozen functioning committees. Many folks here are on those. Working groups or project teams meeting regularly to launch new initiatives, resolve barriers, and improve different aspects of the early childhood system. Collaboration among Early Childhood Advisory Committee, early childhood stakeholders, advocates, parents, business community, state agency partners, and elected officials is absolutely key to accomplishing the great outcomes we desire for our children. And we make great strides in this work since 2019 with this group. Much more than I have time to mention today, but I'd like to hit a couple of highlights of what DSS and other state agencies here today have accomplished with the help of organizations and groups such as the South Carolina Child Care Resource and Referral Network, the South Carolina Child Care Inclusion Collaborative, the South Carolina Program for Infant and Toddler Care, and the South Carolina Infant Mental Health Association. We are better educating parents of young children on evidence-based parenting, child care quality, and improving early learning transitions and community outreach services. We are coordinating resources to provide shared professional development and mental health supports to the child care workforce so they effectively meet the complex needs of our vulnerable children and families. We have expanded supports and incentives available to child care providers to improve quality, while at the same time increasing access to safe, affordable, high-quality child care. And we are working diligently to integrate the data maintained by numerous state agencies and partner organizations to better inform our policy decisions and are creating tools to help South Carolina's families access services they need. Tools like the Palmetto Pre-K, launched last year, and the First 5 South Carolina Access Portal, which my colleague, Ms. Miarton, will tell you more about in a moment. A key ingredient to creating a strong, sustainable foundation for early childhood development is increasing access to child care. And we're committed to working with our partner agencies, stakeholders, and child care providers to increase access and availability to high-quality child care and education for children and families. We want to give parents options and choices to help them make the most difficult and important decision of finding someone to take care of their children while they're working. Increasing access to childcare for all parents and helping to stabilize South Carolina's childcare industry is our top priority, and we appreciate the support and partnership of the agencies standing here with me today, as well as those who could not join us. And now, I'd like to hand it over to my boss and the leader of South Carolina, Governor McMaster, to provide remarks.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Well, this is good news today, this First Five South Carolina portal, which will provide information, immediate access, full information to anybody who wants it, is great. And the plan, the South Carolina Birth Through 5 plan also is a great step forward as well. I have one other good piece of news. We're getting a new podium with a microphone on it. pretty so we can afford it. Who said that? All right, Jerry. This is big news, and I'll be very brief. But we got a lot of talent in South Carolina. We're loaded with talent, and that's why all these businesses and industries from around the world are wanting to come here, because of our people. We've got talent, and a lot of it you see is standing here. And one of the keys to talent and success is everybody working together. We call it communicate, collaborate, and cooperate. And it works every time. And it's working now, and it has produced what you see here today. And we're here for another kind of talent, and that's right here. There's 1, 2, 3 of them, and those are the ones we're here for. And who knows, each one of them, if given the right opportunity, if given the proper education and training, they may be standing over there where Gerald Malloy is one day, or they may be standing where Dr. Simmer is one day, or any of us, or any of you. So we've got the talent. That's the thing that it's taken centuries to develop, the kind of culture and whatever it is that we have that makes South Carolina different and special and attractive from people all around the world. So our job is not to drop the ball, is to see that these young people have an opportunity to go all the way to the top. And some folks, you hear them say, as a young lawyer once said years ago to Justice Holmes on the U.S. Supreme Court, he said, well, Mr. Justice, I'm worried. I'm getting my education, but there's so much competition out there, I just don't know if I'll be able to make it. And he said, son, there's always plenty of room at the top. So that's where our sights are set, is at the top. And I want to remind everyone here as I finish to always tell the young people, everyone you see, that South Carolina is the best place in the whole world to live, work, and raise a family. And we want them to get educated here, trained here, live here, and prosper here. Thank you very much. For you.
Governor McMaster, thank you for your leadership and for the call to action that you gave us to be a government system that is here for every family, for families like the Sawyers, who stepped up and made sure that their children would be healthy and strong, safe, ready for a bright future. Isn't that what every family wants? Doesn't every family want the best for their young children? That's why we're here. That's why everyone is standing together in this room, because we are, as a state, committed to that bright future for all children. Unfortunately, when you're raising little ones, time is very limited. That brain development period that Chairman Morley talked about, 90% of that brain is developed in the first 5 years. And for that parent who's going to work and coming home and caring for her 3 children, it can be tough. And I'm not saying that looking at you. I know that. I'm a mama to 3 little ones, and it's hard. It's a juggling act. And we don't have time for our families to be away from their children, to be in a government agency waiting room, filling out paperwork for 44 different programs and services across all these different 10 state agencies. It doesn't need to be that hard. And that's why together we are launching First 5 SC today. First 5 SC is unique in the nation. It's actually the most comprehensive single portal into early childhood services in the whole country. We've already gotten calls from many other states who said, how did you pull this off? We want to follow the lead that South Carolina has set. It's available 24/7 as an access point across 5 different domains of service because, as Director Leach talked about, some families may be looking for high-quality childcare, while other families may be needing help with ensuring their children are healthy, safe, and fed. This is a portal that's available from the comfort of a family's home because for the grandmother who wants to find a resource for her struggling toddler, who has concerns, she needs to be able to find those resources at 10 o'clock at night when she finally has a chance to come up for air. This is an opportunity for all of us to share this out with our friends, with our family members, to say, in South Carolina, we have great choices. We have amazing opportunities for young children. One of the things that's pretty amazing about First 5 SC is that a family can go on this portal and in just filling out a few answers to just a few questions, a really simple form, what the family finds out is that they're eligible for over 40 different programs and services. So they can be screened across all these different federally and state-funded programs, all these different state agencies. So one of the things that I often talk about is it shouldn't be confusing. It shouldn't be siloed. It shouldn't be hard for families. And we have a system now to make that process really easy. There are many moving parts behind the scenes to any project like this. When families complete this portal, and I want to share this with you. I was actually just going through and sharing this with someone just this morning. And I was scrolling through the list within the domain of childcare and early education. And I was showing her that on this portal, there are 4K opportunities offered in public schools, Head Start, there's childcare. There are opportunities at First Steps 4K and opportunities for the children's siblings. And as I was walking her through this, she said, wait, are you telling me those are all operated by different agencies? And I said, absolutely. They're operated by different agencies. They have different funding sources. They have different eligibility criteria. Their locations are different across the state. But what parents care about is if this is an opportunity that meets their unique needs. In South Carolina, families have choice. Families know what's best for their children. And this portal makes it really easy for them to access that. So today, as I was saying, there are many people behind the scenes who work to pull something like this together. So as we think about those who work in childcare and early education, the access point to health and safety services, to special needs and early intervention, to food and nutrition and parenting and family support, I want to specifically thank the 10 state agencies and the additional entities that work together to make this happen. Chairman Morley has named those who are here in this room today, but I have a few more thanks. And that's thanks to 37 Gears. If the 37 Gears team would wave their hands, these are not only developers who've worked on this project, who won the contract to do this, but these are also all parents raising kids in South Carolina. This is a business owner, Tom, who's here in South Carolina. It's important that South Carolina dollars stay in South Carolina, and with this project they did. I want to say thank you to Rachel Hattonmore. Rachel, would you raise your hand so everyone can see you? Rachel is South Carolina's 2-generation coordinator. She led the work as staff member to the ECAC of building this First 5 SC. It's not every day that you find someone with a master's degree in social work who's also pursuing technical education on the side through night school to be able to be an app developer. Thank you to our amazing technical college system who's given people like Rachel the skills to not only bring her heart and soul to this work as a social worker with a master's degree, but also the technical competence. Thank you, Rachel, for your leadership. I want to say thank you to the 46 local partnerships of First Steps, one in every county, to Family Connection of South Carolina, to help me grow in South Carolina's Child Care Resource and Referral. Those are the First 5 SC community partners. And most importantly, to the families, to thousands of families who responded to surveys, who participated in focus groups, who gave us their feedback, who told us what they needed, who said, I am navigating a complex system and it shouldn't be this hard and you need to fix it. We did fix it. We fixed it because they told us we needed to. We listened to families because in this state, we are responsive. We give families choice. Thank you for co-creating First 5 SC. This is the most comprehensive early childhood portal in the nation. We should all be proud. This is what South Carolina families deserve. And I'll open it up for questions. Are there any questions?
Governor, how can this comprehensive plan, this portal, help leaders like yourself and these senators make policy and help really focus on all the educational aspects of lifestyle?
There are many ways, but two of them is one, we can go on it ourselves and find out what's available, and also with the citizens and people going online and finding out what is and is not available, and pointing out things that are missing, things that should be added, things that are unnecessary. We can make it even stronger and improve it, right?
Absolutely.
You want to say something about it?
If it's okay, just because the governor gave me the floor, thank you. One of the commitments that Governor McMaster has made incredibly clear is that he cares about 4-year-olds, he cares about 0 to 3, and so I would just want to say as a state agency leader that we are incredibly grateful for his leadership and the legislature's leadership in expanding publicly funded full-day 4K statewide. This is a plan for the future for 5 years, but some of the to-dos are already checked off that list because we do have state leaders who are committed not just to having this be a plan that sits on a shelf, but an actionable plan. And I think Governor McMaster has made that very clear through his actions. Thank you.
Sure.
It's extremely helpful because we're able to just go to one location and navigate versus going to different locations to get what we need, So it's extremely helpful for us and we're thankful. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any more questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great job.
Thank you.